In this video, we're going to break down wrap notes, wraparound mortgages. So you'll know 100% of the information. After you've watched this video, there's going to be no more questions about wrap notes. You're going to know how to deploy them. And further, I'm going to get on my friend and attorney, Bill Bronchick. He's been an attorney since the 1990s doing these transactions. He's going to break it down for you. And hopefully I'm going to convince him to share with us some of his documents to give you for free, okay? So make sure you watch to the end. Let's do this. Greetings, class. This is Chris Haskins with therealestateroundup.com. My mission and ministry is to raise your financial literacy through real estate investing and entrepreneurship. You know, there's a lot of buzz in our industry about wrap notes, right? AKA wraparound mortgages. See, the legislatures don't like the fact that we can buy these houses and take over the mortgages subject to. So that's another video. If you want to know how to buy a house without even paying off the mortgage, did you know we can do that? Just watch this video right here. It'll take you right to it. It's a two-part video. You got to know exactly how to do these subject to transactions, because I live in a house that I bought subject to, no bank qualifying, no tax returns, no credit report, none of that stuff. And subject to is a powerful tool to buy houses. But there's a thing that in the industry now that wrap notes are a future of subject to, right? So how and when do we use these wraparound mortgages? So let's understand what a wraparound mortgage is first. A wraparound note, wrap note, right? And later in this video, I'm going to introduce you to my friend Bill Bronchick. He's an attorney, right? So he has these documents. I don't want you to take my word for it. Take it from the attorney. Bill's been doing this forever, right? 30 years. So he's going to show you when to deploy them, how to do it, how to talk to the seller, the documents that you need to do this stuff. So stay around. It's going to be a good one. So a wrap note is commonly used in our industry, right? A wrap note, real estate investing. What is a wrap note? Get your bearings out, Roundup. Get your bearings. You got to have one. All right. A wraparound mortgage is a mortgage that includes in its balance an underlying mortgage, right? It includes another mortgage. Rather than having distinct and separate first and second mortgages, which we're going to go over, a wraparound mortgage includes both. For example, suppose that there is an existing first mortgage of $100,000 at 6%, first mortgage. A second mortgage can be arranged for $50,000 second mortgage. Instead of getting that second mortgage, the borrower arranges a wraparound for $150,000 and it encompasses all of the mortgages. The first mortgage, $100,000, stays intact. The borrower pays the wraparound lender one payment of the $150,000 wraparound. And the wraparound lender remits the payment on the first mortgage to the first mortgage lender. Okay, so what does all that mean? I know this a lot. So much stuff to go over. Get your bearings. If you don't have your Barron's Real Estate Dictionary, just head on over to krishaskins.com and my suggested reading. I'm working on a full suggested reading for you. I love books. I'm telling you, all the answers are in books. Cut that TV off. You right now, cut that TV off. I'm going to come for you. All right. So what is a wrap note, right? What is a wrap note? I remember when my mentor, Greg Penio, explained this to me. This man broke it down. He's been doing this thing since the 80s, right? I feel like I'm just a conduit, passing information on from the OGs to the young guys, right? As I'm in my 40s. So this is going to represent your first deed of trust, your first mortgage, right? Your first mortgage on the property. DOT, that's why I put DOT here. Let's say this first mortgage is $100,000, right? We've got $100,000. This is going to be a gift that you're going to give somebody for the birthday, Christmas, whatever holiday you got coming up. This is your first mortgage on the property, okay? Now, generally speaking, if we go borrow more money, they're going to put a second mortgage against the property, which will be in second position, a second deed of trust, right? So you can have first, second, third, fourth, and so on and so forth. They can go on forever, right? So first mortgage, this is going to be your first mortgage. How it was explained to me, and I'm going to pass it on to you. A wrap note or wraparound mortgage, nothing more. Where when you sell a piece of property, right, you are taking this existing first mortgage that you have so eloquently, me and little Bubba wrapped this thing together. You take your new piece of wrapping paper, She's got, I don't know, this is Mean Girls or something crazy. You take a new piece of wrapping paper and all you do is wrap the existing, I hope you're getting this, you're wrapping the existing first mortgage, or it could be first, second, third, fourth, in another note. So we're going to wrap it up in another piece of wrapping paper. So now we have under the wrap, we have the first mortgage inside, the first mortgage, right? And we could have second, third, or fourth. All this stuff is going to be wrapped inside of your new wrapping paper, okay? So only thing a wrap note does is it wraps around all the existing or the underlining deeds of trust. So now you understand, no problems. We've given you an analogy so you know how these things are put together. So your wrap note wraps the existing loans on a property, okay? So why is that important? Because with the wrap note, when one of your sellers sells you the property, right, they keep the loan in place. When they wrap all this stuff up here, the buyer that you're selling to may not even know that you're paying a first mortgage, right? They may not even care, right? So if you have $100,000 and then you sell the property for $150 on a new wrap, you don't even see the $100,000 under there. You're making a payment on the $150, right? Let's say your first mortgage is $100, you wrap it up, you sell the property for $150. So the wrap here is going to be for $150. Your buyer doesn't even see the first $100,000 loan because they are paying on the full $150. All right. So that's just a simple analogy. I want you to get that. I hope that the kind of, well, for me, it was a great visual to understand how these wrap notes work. Because I'm like, how does it work? You wrap it up, and it's not like RAP, like I'm doing hip hop or nothing like that. Wrap mortgages can be powerful because all this stuff is under there. You have no idea who the seller is paying when you're buying a property if they wrap it all up in the wrap note. So let's go ahead and go talk to my friend Bill. Bill's going to go further expand on this and share when to use this stuff, how do we deploy it, and why would we even use this stuff, right? So if you're enjoying what you're seeing right now, make sure you just take a second, hit that subscribe button, right? Hit the subscribe button and like this content, y'all. Share with any other investors that you think could benefit from understanding how this wraparound mortgage stuff works, right? All right, so let's go talk to my friend and attorney, Bill Bronchick. Okay, Roundup. So you have heard my version of how this wrap note thing is all put together, right? So, but I want to move forward and dig a little deeper, dive deeper in, and to get an attorney's point of view and attorney's perspective on how this thing is actually broke down. Bill Bronchick, how you doing, bro?
I'm doing awesome. Thank you.
Good to see you, my friend.
My pleasure.
So Roundup, we have some goodies for you today. If you stay on here to the end, we're going to tell you where they are. Bill has agreed to let us go ahead, give us for free his documents on his wrap notes. And he was talking to me before we got on here. We don't buy like we sell. So he's buying one way and selling another way. And Bill, just give us a background on your perspective on the wrap notes.
Well, I've been doing them for about 25 years. I own an escrow company. I don't know if you know that. And we specialize in wraps. So I have closed probably, I lost count after about 1,200. So I've done more wraps in my state than any other attorney.
Good gracious. So you know what you're talking about. You've seen a few.
I know every variable, every possibility, every possible thing that can go wrong. And that's what makes good forms, problems. Every time you have a problem, you go, oh, guess we need to update that form. Judge said he didn't like it, or that wasn't clear, so we need to clarify.
Nice.
Experience makes good forms.
That's right. So yeah, you want to give us a just short version of the wrap, and then we're going to share with them your documents and just give them an overview of how to put that together for them.
So a wrap, which is short for wraparound, is when you have an existing loan on a property and you sell it with owner financing and wrap a new note around that existing obligation. Instead of a free and clear house where it's a seller carry, where the seller deeds you the house free and clear and then takes back a note and mortgage, note and deed of trust. Okay. The seller is going to deed you the property, subject to the existing mortgage, and you're going to create a wraparound note. And the wraparound is what we call all-inclusive. And let me explain what I mean by that. So let's say you had a $100,000 house, sale price, okay? And the seller had an $80,000 loan, and he agreed to let you take that ownership subject to the $80,000 loan, and you gave him a $20,000 second note and second mortgage or second deed of trust on the house, okay? A wrap is different. A wrap would be for 100,000, and it includes the 80,000 underneath. So one wraps around the other. So technically, you got $180,000 worth of liens, but not really, because the second lien is inclusive of the first lien. Gotcha. So the buyer is paying to the seller on the $100,000 note, and then continuing to pay his underlying $80,000 note. Now, why the difference is because you can catch a spread not only on the equity, but on the underlying loan. So if the underlying loan is 4% and you took a second at 6%, you're only making 6% on the second. If you did a wrap all inclusive for $100,000 at 6%, you're making 6% on the 20,000 equity and another 2%, the difference, on the first 80.
Wow.
That's the key to the wrap. The wrap preserves the underlying loan at a low interest rate, that you can wrap one around the other and catch a spread, not only on the price equity, but on the existing financing.
Wow. Nice. So when are people doing this? I know Ron LeGrand, I've been talking to him over the years. He's getting squeamish on doing. When do we want to deploy these wrap notes, Bill?
Yeah. So when you buy, I like to buy subject to the existing loan. Just take it over the deed. But if the seller is without recourse, if you default, if you don't make his payments, he's without recourse. So if we do an all-inclusive wraparound mortgage, or in a deed of trust called an all-inclusive trust deed, then the seller has a lien against the property, and he can foreclose and get the property back if you don't make your payments.
Gotcha.
To him or in his loan. Now, when you buy, if there's no equity, we're just going to mirror the wrap note with the underlying loan. So if the underlying loan has 26 years left at 4%, and the payment is $1,200 a month, then the note to the seller is exactly that, and then we give him a little cash on top of that at closing. So the wrap note will mirror the underlying loan. We want to create an equity wrap where we raise the price and we raise the interest rate and catch the spread.
That's sharp. I never even thought about wrapping all that up, and then you're catching something on the spread, even on the first.
Right, even on the first, you're catching the spread. So you buy on it. You want to buy on, if you can, if there's little or no equity, you buy on a mirror wraparound, and you sell on an equity wraparound. So you're going to mark up the price, mark up the interest rate. So just using simple math, $100,000 sale, $80,000 first at 4%. Okay, you could sell it at 105, because it's owner financing. You can get a little premium on price. So there's a $25,000 spread there, and you charge maybe 6.25% interest. So you're catching 6.25% on the 25 equity, and you're catching 2.25% on the rest of it.
That's deep, Bill. I had never even heard it put like that.
Yeah, and the more expensive house you do, the bigger the spread. And this works particularly well with high-end homes. Low-end homes, you're probably better off buying on a wrap and then just renting it, because you'll get more rent, But on a $4, $5, $6, $7, $800 million house, depending on where you live, that may or may not be expensive. But on a higher-end home, you can't rent it for enough to catch the payment, and so you sell it on an owner carry wrap, and you put the obligation for taxes and insurance on the buyer. So the buyer's paying PITI, and you're paying on the underlying loan just P&I. Nice. And that could be a serious cash cow if you know what you're doing.
Yeah, a big one, because taxes and insurance, you're talking about several $1,000s a year.
Yeah. Because that's the challenge with, a high-end home. If you bought it on a wrap or bought it on a subject to, and you had a $2,400 a month all-inclusive payment, and you can only rent it for $2,500, it's not even worth the risk.
Yeah, ain't gonna make it.
Right. But if you can push the taxes and insurance onto a buyer or sell it on a wrap, and raise the interest rate, you can catch a spread of $400 to $600 a month and no landlording responsibility.
Gotcha. Bill, well, I got you here. Would you mind coming back on and doing like a live for me? I know I'm putting you on the spot. President's Day. I know it's coming up soon.
Sure. I'd be happy to do that.
I know my roundup is going to have a million questions to ask about this.
Yeah.
So, all right, we'll put that together.
Yeah.
Thank you. Real quick. Okay, so we got these docs here, Bill. Would you just kind of give us a brief overview? I've got them. This is from your docs here, Roundup. If you go to the link in the video description, go ahead. Bill's been generous enough to give us these documents. Just put your information in and download them right now, and you can deploy them. Wraparound Addendum, Bill. I'm gonna bring this up here, and I'm gonna let you go and do your thing, Bill.
When you do a preliminary agreement with a seller or a buyer, you take your standard contract, whichever one you use. Usually we're talking about the realtor contract, right? Or your standard contract you use, and you add this as an addendum, and it spells out that this is a wraparound sale.
Nice.
Or wraparound purchase, depending on which side of the equation you're on. Okay, so this, there's actually a choice in there. Is this a mirror wrap or an equity wrap? Actually laid right out on the addendum.
So you're attaching this to this. So we just use a 2 or 3 page contract, Bill. Sure, I'm just going to attach it right.
There's your addendum.
Gotcha. All right. So you've got that. Then the wrap promissory note.
Right. So that's your all-inclusive wraparound promissory note that you're going to either pay to the seller or collect from your buyer if you're selling. Okay.
So this is the note.
Yeah. So the note, now you see how it mentions underlying mortgage. So it's all inclusive. It's not, like I said earlier, 80 plus 100 to $180,000 worth of debt. It's $100,000 worth of debt inclusive of the underlying 80.
Gotcha. This is cool. So we can feel this is the note.
Right.
So we don't record notes. We keep this. This is the file that recognizes the debt and the terms.
Yes, that's the debt between the buyer and seller.
Gotcha. So Roundup, don't be trying to record a note. You don't.
No, I've seen people notarize notes and record them. No, that doesn't mean anything. You need a security instrument, a mortgage or deed of trust.
There you go. All right, the wraparound rider to deed of trust.
Right. So if you are in a deed of trust state, you would take your standard deed of trust and add this as a rider to make it into an all-inclusive trust deed, or AITD, or sometimes we call it an all-inclusive deed of trust, or an all-inclusive trust deed, usually called an AITD.
Okay.
So you would attach that to like your standard, whatever deed of trust you use in that state, and record it with the deed of trust. And now it gives notice to the world that this is a wraparound, not just a second.
So this is going to go along with our initial, I just call everything standard, our standard deed of trust. It goes along with that when we go record it. Nice. So Roundup, you're getting that one. That's a good one there.
Yeah.
And wraparound rider to mortgage, Bill.
Right. If you're in a mortgage state, you use this.
Same thing as the previous one?
Yep.
Oh, okay. That's simple.
Like just if you're in a mortgage state, you use that one.
Arco, so this is generally speaking, I know you were talking about we don't buy like we sell. You said if we're going to be selling to sell on a land contract.
Yeah, except in Texas. That's the exception. I'll explain in a moment.
Okay.
We buy on a deed. So we're going to get the deed subject to the existing loan.
This is everywhere. So, hold on. Hold on. This is everywhere. Okay. All right.
And then you sell on an unrecorded installment land contract. You keep it until the buyer pays off. Except in Texas. In Texas, you can't use this. You have to buy on a wraparound deed of trust, sell on a wraparound deed of trust.
Y'all hear that?
That's just because they don't recognize. Not they don't recognize. It's just there's so many rules and restrictions around installment land contracts in Texas that you just can't use them.
Don't want to use. Okay. So we're buying with our wrap / mirror wrap or equity wrap, selling on a land
equity installment land contract wrap.
So this is the doc. Bill, why is it that one might not want to buy like we sell?
Well, on a wrap, a true wraparound mortgage or wraparound all-inclusive trust deed, you're getting title to the property. You're getting
we're the owners.
You're the owners. Whereas on a land contract, it's sort of like a car. You don't get the title till you pay it off. Now, I'm not saying never buy that way. I'm just saying it has risks because the seller could get liens against the property. He can get divorced. He can file bankruptcy. You know, it has all kinds of pitfalls if you're the buyer. So I prefer if you can get the deed, get the deed. If he won't give you the deed, can you buy on a land contract, sell on a land contract? Sure, I've done that plenty of times. It's just that it comes with risks. It's like lease options. You know that. You know, when you buy on a lease option, you don't have the deed, so something could happen between the time you exercise the option and you signed it. Same thing with a land contract. You could sign a land contract and something could happen to the title or the seller or some kind of lien or problem, the IRS lien. You never know. Whereas when you get the deed up front, then that's it. The seller's off title and none of his problems affect you.
So when we're selling on the land contract, we remain owner on title, or our trust remains owner on title.
Correct.
Thank you so much. Anything you want to leave from our rounduppers for for wrap notes, Bill?
Any more?
Anything you want to leave for them?
I'm sorry, say again?
Anything else you would like to leave from our roundup family regarding wrap notes?
Informed. Knowledge is power. The more you learn, the more you earn.
Well, that's true. Okay, that's all I got for you, Bill. Thank you so much, my friend.
Pleasure.
Yep. All right, roundup. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, like the content, share with any other investors that are doing this crazy creative real estate stuff, and I will see you soon. Talk to you later. Make sure Monday I'll see you with Bill. He's going to come back and talk more about this wrap stuff. Okay, everybody. Bye.